the season is still very young for the Chicago Sky, and we're waiting to see which players step up consistently. There's been one player that is in the midst of a comeback that I think is going to be drastically important to the Chicago Sky's success this season, and that's Diamon DeShields. We're going to talk a little bit about her and her play so far and why she is a key to really unlocking the full potential of the Chicago Sky. We're also going to talk about Teresa Weatherspoon giving the Sky the confidence to continue to kind of fight above where a lot of people have them ranked at coming into the season. We're going to get into all that and more right after this.
Welcome to Chicago Sky Central, and here's your host, Haize.
What's going on, Sky fans? Welcome to another episode of Chicago Sky Central, your number one spot for everything Chicago Sky related. My name is Haize. You guys can follow me at CEO Haize, but more importantly, you guys can follow the channel at Chicago Sky Pod on every social media platform we happen to be on. With that being said, I want to talk about Diamon DeShields, right? And so we've talked a lot about Marina Mabrey. We have an episode on why Marina Mabrey, her stepping up and really maybe becoming a superstar this season for the Chicago Sky is really important to the Sky's overall success. We talked about Dana Evans, her running the point guard position, her and Kennedy Carter both, and what they can bring. Heck, we've even talked about Angel Reese a lot and what her rookie season really is going to mean and how she's helped setting the tone defensively for the Chicago Sky. But one player that we've touched on a little bit and started off the season with the minutes restriction, seemed to play more minutes than that in the second game so far, is Diamon DeShields. Diamon DeShields, with her being on the comeback from a knee injury that left her out all of the 2023 season, it was always a question of, okay, how is Diamond going to return, right? On top of some of the already big adversity she's faced over her 6-year WNBA career. But when you look at it, Diamond is already becoming one of the go-to scoring options for the Chicago Sky. She's the second leading scorer over the Sky through the 2 games so far. Marina Mabrey is number 1, averaging 16.5 points per game. She's also averaging 8.5 rebounds, 5.5 assists, and 3.5 steals per game. Marina Mabrey is balling right now. That's why we do have that expectation or the hope that she's going to turn into a superstar this season. But Diamon DeShields is the second leading scorer, averaging 15 points per game. Keep in mind, one of those games she only played 18 minutes because she was on a minutes restriction. She's done that in only having 21 minutes average between the 2 games, whereas like a Marina Mabrey is averaging 34 minutes per game. She's also averaging 3.5 rebounds per game, 2 assists, 2.5 steals, and 1 block per game as well as Diamon DeShields averaging for the Chicago Sky this year. I want to make no mistake about it. I don't want to mix words here. I want everybody to understand what I'm saying very clearly. Diamon DeShields has always been one of the most versatile weapons when she's healthy, period. The biggest question coming into the season for Diamon DeShields is she going to be able to stay healthy long enough? Is she going to be able to overcome that injury that had her out all of last season? Is she going to be able to go through all those things enough to be able to be that huge impact player that we know she has the potential of being for the Chicago Sky? And so far, it's looking like it's going to be a positive. Now, we, of course, got some questions on how much is she going to be, if she's going to be fully healthy and can she stay healthy, which are fair questions to have. But it seems like that is going to be, something that it's looking like it's going to be in the positive route, right? When you see how she changed the score, how she dictates the pace of the game with her scoring and everything like that, it's huge to see the reason why she's going to take a big step for the Chicago Sky. And Diamond is like, between her being familiar, of course, with the franchise, we already know that how her time's been here before she spent the 1 season away from the Chicago Sky. After the Sky did win the WNBA title, she had 1 season in Phoenix where it was a okay season, right? She only played 30 games that season, but it is what it is when that comes down to it. She's still in that season, averaged 13 points per game. So Diamon DeShields is a player that can absolutely fill it up. And if she ends up being, as Angel Reese is learning to kind of, her offense is coming to her and she's focused right now on defense, which is perfectly fine. They still got to get her the ball more. Guards, get Angel Reese the ball. But Diamon DeShields is a huge part, Kennedy Carter, of the offense that's being scored by the Chicago Sky. And so I just wanted to spend that time really talking about Diamon DeShields and what she can be for the Chicago Sky team if she can just stay healthy. To me, it's not a question on does she have the ability to do it. It's just the health aspect of it. And if she can stay healthy, which it does, those are looking positives in a positive light. Overall, I really do think that it's going to be a really solid season for Diamon DeShields, and she is probably going to be the comeback player of the year. Like, it just is what it is. She has that level of ability, and so it just adds to the depth of this team overall. And so that's a really big thing as well. But we also, in talking about injury, we also got a huge update as well, and that's an update on Kamilla Cardoso as well, is that she is now targeting a June 1st return, confirmed by her and Teresa Weatherspoon, the coach here, as well. She had her first day back at practice today, which is huge and good to see. And so getting Kamilla back, right? We've talked about it a lot. Getting Kamilla back is going to be, it's kind of makes everything else fit so easily. Whether you're moving Elizabeth Williams back to the bench, which is fine, right? And then you have a all-world defender in a lot of ways at her position coming off the bench behind Kamilla. But when you have the size, speed, and strength and rim protection of Kamilla Cardoso, man, that goes a long way with it as well. Teresa Weatherspoon saying this: I'm going to go with Kamilla says. I'm trusting Kamilla. So it seems like Kamilla Cardoso is very, she feels very confident in making that return for the Chicago Sky on that June 1st date. And listen, that is only a couple of weeks away. And if that ends up being the case, we're talking about, at that point, the Sky have 4 games between now and June 1st. So she returns Saturday, June 1st against the Indiana Team Fever, then that goes. That's such a huge game to return at. That game is going to be aired on ESPN. First game against Caitlin Clark, right? But outside of that, that would mean she's only going to miss 6 games of a 40-game season if she does hit that target of the June 1st date. So Kamilla Cardoso returning for the Chicago Sky on June 1st. That's everything that we want to see, and that adds to the depth of the Chicago Sky team. And that's one of the things that can make this team so dangerous. You guys know, I think this team can compete for a playoff spot this year. I'm not believing the power rankings and the other places that have this guy listed as the worst team or 11th team in the WNBA. I think this team, with the way that they play, with the depth that they shape up to have as well, that this could be a team that, through their defense and depth, right? Those two things, defense and depth, are going to be able to compete with a lot of teams. We've had 2 games so far, both games being against the Dallas Wings. We have a game coming up Thursday against the Liberty. We'll see how the team competes in that game, right? That, of course, more data will help us kind of really see where this team is going to be able to rank and who they can compete with in this league. But I feel really confident overall in the depth that this team has. And Teresa Weatherspoon is a big part of empowering that depth. She's talked a lot about, since she came over to the Chicago Sky team to be the coach here, how her history as a point guard helps her kind of understand how and where to get the best out of the players. And when you have a roster that's largely new, right? Most of this roster is new. They weren't on the roster last year. And you have players who even were on this roster playing much different roles than what they did last year. Having a coach that has that view and has a focus on, let me make sure I get this player in the right position, that I get the most out of them, is going to be what helps this team fight and be better than what the predictions were coming into the season for it. So the chemistry, the depth of this team, the defense of this team, these are things that you got to look for that can make the Chicago Sky very special in the 2024 season. Like I said, the depth overall is the thing that I'm really looking at with this team. Like, we still have yet to see, really, Dana scored well and sometimes overall, right, as kind of the third scoring option. She's done well. Kennedy Carter's done well in stretches also. But when you talk about adding Kamilla back, getting eventually Isabel Harrison back as well as another big, that's 6'3" that can get you some points and do some rim protection for you as well. This team has an upside that I just don't think many people are really taking a look at. And then you can't really quantify in a way, but the way that Kamilla and Angel are going to improve week after week, month after month, as they're adapting more to the WNBA game, yeah, that's a hard thing to kind of put a number on and like I said, to quantify, but it's something that you would expect. The work ethic that these ladies put in, how much of competitors they are, and how much they come from winning organizations, and winning is the most important thing to them. I tell you what, this is going to be a season that I think the Chicago Sky are going to be turning a lot of heads. I think the Chicago Sky are going to be proving a lot of the doubters wrong. And I, for one, hope that they do, man. I really hope that that continues for the Chicago Sky. Diamon DeShields, like I said, a big part of that, our second leading scorer. I expect that to continue as well. Marina Mabry on her ascension in a lot of ways to being kind of that star-level player. You see, when she gets in a rhythm scoring-wise, there's not very many players that can mess with her. Kennedy Carter coming off the bench, even if she eventually goes to the starting lineup, but having her as a depth piece there has been huge as well. And then we still haven't seen the best from like Michaela Onwerde. She has a lot to still show and prove for the Chicago Sky team as well. Angel and Kamilla, as I said, aren't done at all with who they're going to be by the end of this season. Isabel hasn't played yet for us. Elizabeth Williams, as she's just being able to kind of focus on the things that she does well to excellent, goes a long way for her too. This is going to be a season, I truly feel. And this isn't just because of the 2 games. You guys knew. I was saying this when this team came together, when they put the final touches on this roster. I really feel like the defense, chemistry, and depth is going to be something that really separates this team and makes this team be able to be much better than what a lot of people are giving it credit to be coming into the season. But hey, that's my thoughts. I'm not expecting everybody to share those thoughts and opinions with me, but I think we're going to be in for a season that a lot of people are going to realize you can't sleep on the Chicago Sky. We still got things that we need to improve on, right? I want to see better bench production more consistently. I think with getting everybody back, and some of the players are right now in the starting lineup, moving to the bench, even getting Isabel Harrison back, that's going to help that bench production a whole hell of a lot. I think that goes a long way as well. And then just the chemistry of the team. You know, a lot of the members of this team, Isabel Harrison, while she was on the roster last season, didn't play a regular season game for the Chicago Sky. She can be looked up as somebody who still needs to work out her chemistry with this team because so much of it has changed. Dana, in a starting role now where she's been the bench player for the Sky for so long, right? Angel, Kamilla, sophomores, rookies in this league right now, right? So it's a lot of change. Diamon DeShields coming back to the Chicago Sky, but she's playing a much different role than what she did in the year we won a championship. So it's a lot of newness here with the Chicago Sky, but I feel really confident about the Sky coming out on the other side of this, and we looking damn good. But let me know your guys' thoughts, as always, down below. Make sure you guys are following the show at Chicago Sky Pod. You can send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns, ChicagoSkyCentral@gmail.com. And then lastly, of course, if you guys want to leave a text message and our voicemail for the mailbag, the number to do so, 773-270-2799. We are the #1 spot for everything Chicago Sky related. And I'll see you guys the next time we go to Skytown, y'all. Peace.
This has been a presentation of the Break Media.